Welcome back to another Off the Record DJ podcast, and in today's episode, there is a new DJ controller in town, kind of. Part life in the jungle. And arguably, Crossfader's biggest ever announcement. Jeez. Let's...
Music, industry talk, stories, equipment and more. We are Crossfader and this is off the record. Off the record. Off the record.
Yes, welcome back to, I think, episode 62 maybe of the Off the Record podcast, and a lot going on this week, especially in the Crossfader Towers. There's a big announcement coming up, which we'll get to in a second. So there's loads of going on internally in the office. It's me, Lawrence James, and the boys.
Yeah.
How are we doing?
Usual boys.
How are we?
The usuals, yeah.
Yeah, all good, all good. Frantic today. I'm a bit all over the place. Because of the announcement, though. It's a good announcement, but just head scattered.
It's been busy.
We'll tell you why, and we are live on the usuals. So get in touch with any questions that you have, and we will get to them. But yeah, let's get to this announcement. And it's such a big one because essentially it is all our sort of lives works as DJs being given to the Crossfader community.
Yeah.
So as of this weekend, and it will be live next week. We're recording this podcast live on a Thursday. So if you're listening to this podcast early next week, it will be live. You'll be able to see it, but it will be launching next week. And we are proud to announce the complete DJ package. And basically what this is it is our access to every single thing that Crossfader has ever created, basically. So all the courses that we have ever put together, you can get access to them, and all of the DJ Hub content, which is 50 hours of 50 courses of bonus content in there. So you can have access to all 23 of our courses. And not only that, you can get access to all future courses as well. So if you purchase the complete DJ package, you get access to every single one of our courses, all the bonus content, and also access to every single piece of every single course that we make in future as well. So all of the information and things will be in your email over the weekend, and it will be launched early next week as of sort of Monday, Tuesday, and you'll be seeing it all over socials. But I thought I'd give everyone on the podcast a heads up about it so that you can go and check it out.
I think we need to just back up what you've just said there.
Yeah,
when you're saying that you get every future course, this is not a subscription. You will pay, and then you will be a Crossfader member for life.
Yeah.
Yep.
And anything we do in the future, you will get access to. You've already paid.
Yeah.
You don't
No
have to pay
extra
again.
cost.
No extra cost.
There's so much value in it. It's hard to get it across in a sentence.
It is, yeah. It's hard to explain.
There's loads of information going out about it, and we'll touch on it as we go through this episode as well. But yeah, we're very excited about it, and I think that it's the kind of the product that needed to be out there. I think that our main goal at Crossfader is to provide the most immense value to the Crossfader community. It's why we do what we do, and I think that this just makes sense. So we're looking forward to getting out there and seeing the response. Any questions you've got around it, let us know. And we are live as well, so hello if you're listening and watching live. And to get onto today's topic as well, we are talking about your wins in the last year. So I put a question out on Instagram on Monday, and I was asking for your wins in the last month in your DJ career. So if you are watching live now, think about what wins you have had, kind of breakthroughs. Have you had your first gig? Have you DJ'd at a festival or in a radio show? Or, have you just put a mix together for the first time? What have you done in the last 12 months that you've been really excited about? And we'll get to some of those at the end. But in the meantime, there's been some DJ news. We are getting the Hercules. Is it the T7? I keep forgetting the name of it.
It's
T7?
the T7.
T7. Yeah. We are getting that next week to test. That's the budget control vinyl
moving platter. That's
controller.
The word I'm looking for.
But yeah, Dead On DJ released the Prime 4 Plus with an upgraded system as well, the Engine 3.1.
Yeah.
Jamie, you've tested it. Do you want to?
Yeah, so Engine 3.1 is like the latest release from the Engine, software OS, the operating system that's within the Newmark mix streams. It's within the old Prime 4. It's within the the SC Live 2, Live 4. It's in that whole ecosystem of products. And with Engine 3.1, they've added things like daytime mode, so you can take specifically for that Newmark Mixstream Pro Go, where you can take it outdoors. Now you've got daytime mode, so you can see it much easier the screen. You've got touch effects, which have come, which sound great. I think they sort of saw what the Opus Quad brought to the table and went, yeah, we'll do that. We'll roll it out into all our products. So they brought that out, which is, fun to play around with. And I think that's a really welcomed addition. And a few other things that they brought out. The Prime 4 Plus, however, it's like an iteration of the original Prime 4. It sold so well as that Prime 4. It makes sense for them to do a version of it. Now, the biggest update is really that there's Amazon Music streaming in there. And, word from InMusic, the reason why they have to bring out these new products, there was a new Newmark Plus version and now a new Prime 4 Plus version, is because they had to put a new hardware chip in there to be able to have Amazon Music streaming in there. So that's one of the big updates. And honestly, I think the other biggest update, which needs shouting about, is just the feel and the look of it. Like,
it's very slick.
It is very slick. It still inherits all the same kind of layout as the Prime 4, but it feels much nicer. Big thing, jog wheels feel much better. The original Prime 4, the jog wheels just ran away from you. You spin them and they were so loose, they just ran away. This has got some nice tension to it, and it feels much more natural, like other pieces of equipment to DJ on. The pads feel much nicer on this one. There's new updated effects in there as well, which comes with the new Engine 3.1. So there's loads more effects to choose from. And again, that just shows by having the effects not as an effects channel, by having it, with a infinite scrolling mechanism, it means they can add them just with software updates, which is quite interesting to see that come. And all in all, I'm impressed with it. We are going to do a full review on it because there is something that we're not allowed to talk about to do with it, which very annoying. You'll see that we don't have a review on YouTube yet, even though it's been announced.
Listen,
and I chose to not do that.
If you look at the comments, people know where it is.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to say what it is because it's ridiculous.
Which is stupid. Anyway, I've told InMusic that's just, Anyway, so in 2 weeks' time, there will be a full review. You can find out about the latest thing that's going to be added to this.
It's very confusing when you get a product and it's like, here's the product, but you can't put out the full product. You can't tell everyone the full stuff. You got to wait 2 weeks for that, and you're like, why? Why can't we just wait 2 weeks for everything? It's just so confusing. Just that's a little window into our lives. But yeah, that's it's good. And just from the comments as well, from the short form stuff we put out, people love their Prime 4. They're like, why would you need anything else? And it is one of them products, I think, that once you get that, it kind of does everything a DJ could ever want, really. There's not much to it. Probably not worth an upgrade if you're thinking about is it worth it? Is the new stuff on it? Not really. Amazon Music, touch effects, but again, if you want to trade in your old one for the new one, go for it. Yeah, there's some little subtle differences, but coming. So we'll get the new Hercules as well next week, hopefully, and start putting some videos together on that, and we'll have a better idea of a launch date and things like that next week. And
there's more new things coming.
There is, but something's in the office right now, which is tasty, so tasty.
Very.
Guys. So again, over there somewhere. If you're watching live, I want to know your wins in the last 12 months. Write them down for us, and we're going to favourite some. What are your DJ wins in the last 12 months? What's happened? Me and Jamie went to Park Life. We said we were going last week, and it was so good, wasn't it? It was so good. It was like 30-degree heat. The lineup was unreal. There was Giotti, Skrillex, Peggy Goo, Fred again, Pauser. We caught some Pauser, and it was sick. But you know what the best part was? The best part wasn't even the headline DJs. We was luckily enough to be in the VIP section, and the resident DJs on there were phenomenal, weren't they?
Residents, amazing.
The resident DJs in there.
So in the VIP. Yeah, they were just playing absolute fire, and it made to the point where I'm like, do I need to go and see another DJ because I'm enjoying this DJ so much? And they were playing some absolute gems. They'd obviously dug deep track selection. It they nailed it, really.
Yeah,
They nailed
and
it.
if you're like, you're like me, Jamie and Danny, we're kind of like open format club DJs, like that kind of thing. When you watch another good open format club DJ, you're like, oh, I'm here for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like we were like, are we wasting our money here? Because we could have just gone out. We could have just gone out. We could have just gone out in Manchester. But yeah, shout out Emily Rose and Kennedy Taylor were the two DJs on, and they were phenomenal. And we spent probably 3 hours in there. It was easier to get to the bar. The toilets were right there. It was 30 degrees.
Can you tell we're getting a bit older now? We're getting to the festivals and we're a bit older.
Where's the nearest bar? But no, so Skrillex was obviously ridiculous, and like just some of the unreleased stuff he was playing was ridiculous.
And do you know what I loved about Skrillex is he just kept it so raw. He was like, he rocked up. Who was playing before him?
Jotty.
Yeah.
Who we messaged, and she messaged us back. So
did she?
Hello, yes.
Jotty, yeah. So she was playing, and he just like rocked up, yeah, like any DJ in a club would do. How you doing? She was like, gassed. She bigged him up like to no end, but he was like, yeah, cool. You can stop talking now. Like before USB in, off we go.
Like before a big DJ set, usually like there's a pause and then there's loads of like there's a big intro and it's like introducing, bro. It's like none of that. Came on, put his headphones in.
Mixed in out the back of her, basically.
Mixed in out the back of her set, and like, yes. Yeah. There was a video of him and Jota the next day, and she was taking him on the train just to his next gig. And so he's just in a train station. I'm like, that's hilarious. And then obviously Fred again, bit of a different show, still like club music, but like live. It was a live show.
I want to know in the comments, anyone that's listening, who you've seen this year. Like, have you been to any festivals or events or clubs? Who has been your highlight, who you've seen this year?
For sure. Right, guys, going back to your quick wins. So, yeah, put this out on Instagram. So, in the last 12 months, I asked our community, what are their wins? And the best thing about this is people's like journeys are so different, and what people's perception of wins and like what they're doing. But all of these are just great. So, you've got DJ Crossfader, got my first club gig, opened up for Martin Ikin, amazing. They got booked for a festival, amazing. I now have 3 residencies within 6 months of DJing. Wow. So I think a lot of people ask us that, how quickly can you get gigs? And obviously there's no one straight answer, but we had a guy, one of our students this week, saying that he took a techno course and in 30 days he was mixing and he's already got his first gig in like a month.
That's great.
So obviously it depends how you apply yourself, but like this guy here who's got 3 residencies in 6 months, that's amazing. Ethan just said started learning to DJ. Like, that's a win. Big win. Being able to talk to experienced DJs. At age 45, still all got a lot to learn about DJing, but you can teach an old dog new tricks. Love that. Love that attitude. Yep. Played a big bar in my town and crushed it. Become a resident DJ at my first club. Our good friend Jam T DJ Busker. The busker guy.
Oh, yeah.
Busker, just busking and having a good time.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's live. Got to play at a club that I've never thought I'd play at. Had my music featured on BBC Radio 1 Bristol.
Nice.
Got my first festival gig. Somebody said, built something like Phase and it works all by itself.
Nice.
Sick, send us it.
Send us more.
Recorded 2 sets this week. Really good win. Got my first bar gig. Bought my first controller, DDJ 1000, and had my first gig.
Nice.
Got booked for 3 events and for 3 weekends, and I've just started DJing.
Sick.
Got a gig where I got a hotel for the night.
That's a win. That's a win.
Such a win.
I feel like such a
first time you get one.
dog.
I'm like, this is life.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. One of my first ever guest gigs was the bar that Holland plays at, 5 Bar.
Yeah.
And it was the first time one of the first times I got like a guest booking. And I turned up and it was like they had a pool table in the back. And I had they got the drinks rider and stuff for like the 5-star hotel. And I'm like, yo, this is sick. And then that didn't happen for like another 2 years. So yeah, sick. Became a resident of my favorite club. Loads of like first club gigs and all that kind of stuff. Got my first controller. Amazing. So what I kind of want to do is sort of set out a roadmap for the next 12 months for anyone thinking, I'm on this kind of path as well, and maybe I've just started, maybe I've just got back into it. Can we kind of structure your path to like the win? So we're going to go through kind of planning your next 12 months, and if there's anyone that wants to get involved in what you're planning to do in your next 12 months as well.
I'm also going to read out some wins after as well from the people listening live.
Amazing.
So we'll circle back to these wins as well.
So I think planning in the next 12 months, and it's something that we do a lot. We kind of plan in sort of 3 to 6 month times, but sometimes if it's like a bigger project, we'll plan at Crossfader sort of 12 months in advance.
Yep.
But if you kind of break these down however you want, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, the first thing you want to do for setting any goal is kind of define what the goal is, because just like I was reading out there, it's so different for so many different people, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
If you're 45, just getting back into it, it's, you've got a whole different landscape to think about. Whereas if you just got your first controller, remember the guy from last week who said he learned how to got inspiration from watching Fortnite that he wanted to DJ.
The marshmallow thing. Yeah.
So the first thing you do is literally got to define your goal. And I do it 2 ways. I'd define sort of your realistic goal for the next sort of 3 months. And then I'd define like an unreasonably big 12-month goal. So if you've not even touched the controller yet, I'd be like, right, I want to DJ at like Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
Because you got something to like aim for, just to keep you motivated. But more realistic goals kind of define what you want to do in sort of the next 2 to 3 months, because you can attach like real actionable steps towards that.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're not great at making social media, reels and stuff, it's like, why don't I just make 2 reels this week? 2 mixes this week that I can do, because that's something you can actually tick off. And it's something that we teach a lot in our How to Get Gigs course, and we have loads of like planners and PDFs that you can write all this stuff down. But yeah, the first thing I would do is like define your early goal and some quick wins as well.
I'm going to add to this as well about setting goals. And I think one of the big traps DJs fall into is they try and set targets and goals that they think clarify that they are a successful DJ.
Yeah, sure.
So they will think, well, what will other people, even if it's just parent stuff, what will they deem as me being successful at this? Is it that I, get on a festival stage? So that's what my goal is going to be, is because that will, clarify me as a DJ. And I think it's a trap that people fall into. What you want to do is just rein it back a little bit and just think, create a vision, close your eyes and just think, right, what will actually make me happy? What will tick that box of like, what is going to tick that vision for me and make me feel amazing about what I am doing in, my life, in my career, and base it on that, not what other people expect of you, and that comes back to that real making a vision about where you want to go. And if it is a festival stage, fine, I'm not, that can be a very valid thing to aim towards, of course, but for a lot of people, it might not be that. And I think just figuring out that, like, where, if I hit that point, am I going to be like the happiest, and then you've set another goal after that. That doesn't have to be the end, but it's like, that's the next big step for you where you're going to feel like, I have ticked a big box right now. So, but for you, not for someone else.
You're really good at this, Jamie, because that was my number 2.
Oh, there we go.
So you're right about like defining goals for you, because, goals are different for everyone. Like, for example, most people's goals on here be like, I want 7 nights a week. My goal in the next 12 months is to have less gigs. Like I say it all the time, that I need to scale back a little bit. So like Jamie says, don't let other people's perception of what like a successful DJ is like cloud your judgment. So once you've sort of defined your goals and you define like what success means to you, and you can start making actionable steps towards that, whether that's you need to create more content, whether you need to start reaching out to promoters and that thing, you need to make sure that you have a strong foundation which to do it in, which goes back to sort of the DJ skills. So, it's like if you're, you just picked up a course, you finish your course, are you like ready? Do you feel ready to like go out and DJ? Where do you feel like you're ready to go out and play? Are you more comfortable? You think it's kind of smaller gatherings? Do you want to like start off at like private parties? Are you already an established DJ that's getting back into it and you're like, I need to start networking? You need to make sure that you've got the foundational skills to get to that next level. So make sure you've got the skills, like the mixing skills, being able to mix, being confident. Maybe you learn how to use a microphone or something like that, but then core values of what you're going to need to go out there to start to achieve your goals.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm jumping it again, but there's transition points in that. So knowing what those skills are between the different parts of your journey of a DJ. So like you just said about a microphone, that is a tool that could get you from being, in the background of a club, just playing music for people and they're dancing, to then being like on a stage in a club, a bigger club where you're performing more to people and making that presence. So rather than you just providing the experience behind the scenes almost, and it's going on, but people they aren't aware of you and you're providing it, to then being that like presence and the provider of the experience where, you have more presence with that crowd and interaction with that crowd. So like that little aspect of like, okay, is that one of my goals, is to learn to use a microphone? That could unlock X, Y, and Z for me and take me to that next step in my career. Maybe it's music production, that's another skill where it's like, okay, well, if I want to be playing festival stages, what's the big barrier for me?
Yeah.
Do I need to be making my own music or, do I need to make some real good, strong connections to get to that point, and focusing on those skills. If you need to network really well to get to those big leagues, then focus on like getting out there and mingling with the right people and use that as a goal,
Yeah, for sure. And to get out there, the next step number 4 would be sort of creating your kind of, not a brand, but your sort of identity. So, for example, in our local scene, although we've shared many of the clubs, kind of what we three do are very different.
Yeah.
So if, a club promoter has an open format night, they go to Jamie. If they have an R&B night, they'll come to me. If they have a house night, they'll go to Danny. But that's all done through like reputation and what people see online. And then it's built on sort of foundations of people knowing what you do. Now, if you're trying to get your foot in the door, the easiest way obviously to do that is your social media, of course. But while you're making this kind of content, because you've defined your goal, you can sort of approach it from that end goal kind of standpoint. If you're like, I want to be playing the techno stage at Tomorrowland, that's my unreasonable goal, then, there's no point you trying to mix a load of like commercial pop tunes or something, unless that is aligned with your path to the end goal. So I think that if you can get around the head early, like I want to be this kind of DJ, you can pivot along the way, obviously, but if you want to be, just playing in the techno clubs, that's all I want to do, then don't let other distractions get in your way. Like, just if
double down on what you are
big time,
wanting to go for, but know that it could take longer. Certain journeys take longer than others. Like if you're just wanting to make a bit of money out of being a DJ, and you'll take any gig, then the aim really is to just make yourself known and play parties and weddings and events, and then hopefully get some club gigs. But if it's the flip side of that, and you are very passionate about music and want to share your discovery of music with a certain audience, then it might be a longer journey to be able to do that, but by doubling down into that and not getting sidelined by like doing a random wedding gig might actually be beneficial. We do always say though, experience is good in all forms. So like, if you feel like an experience can, bring value beyond money to you as a DJ, then go for it, because it could help that longer term goal.
Yep, for sure. And the next step would be to the networking part, which is very, one of the most difficult parts. It doesn't come naturally to everybody, like networking and building relationships within the industry. It does start, it starts in two ways. So if you've got a sort of a dream destination you want to DJ at, you could, what I used to do was just go to that club or that bar or that restaurant and hang out all the time, and just go there as a customer, hang out, speak to the managers, speak to the doorman, speak to the staff, the assistant managers, and just become sort of part of the furniture there. And then naturally you can build up that relationship, and you're like, oh, by the way, I DJ a lot. I'm committed to this. Here's my social media. What do you think? Can I do a 10-minute warm-up slot? Can I do a half an hour warm-up slot? Have you got, do you need a warm-up DJ for this? Do you need somebody to close? I think that, that might get more DJs in the door, asking for closing sets. Like it's something that I've been thinking about. The older I get, I would love someone to just come and do the last hour. That'd be sick. Yeah. And then so that's one way of doing it physical. And I think, in-person networking is your best bet. But obviously with social media, if you've got your social stuff in order, you can be tagging people, not aggressively, but you can be uploading a mix, tagging a certain club, DMing it to a promoter, DMing it to a manager, or that the doorman that you were speaking to last week, saying, yeah, check this mix out. Building relationships is a big one.
I've got a question off the back of that. So Aaron said, is it a good idea to make an account on any social media for my career or not? And someone backed up saying, you need to have every social media possible. So we were just talking about social media and like how you can use it to network and get out there. And obviously it's kind of like your CV, your brand as well. Go on.
Dino, was it? Dino says you need.
Dino says you need everyone possible.
I totally disagree. I would pick one and do it the best you can do it. Yeah. Especially if you're not active already, and you're not comfortable with how creating content works, and like you're not putting it out all the time, pick one and stick to it, because it's difficult. It's not easy to. There's so many things, like
even we struggle to manage all social medias. Facebook's kind of gone to the wayside for us, and it's just we do focus on Instagram and TikTok, and then obviously YouTube. Slightly different approach there, but I do agree with that. Especially as one person, it's hard to manage them all. But there's hacks and tips within our courses, with the How to Get Gigs course, of like how to repurpose content across different channels, which helps with that process. But yeah, just backing that up of like do one really well, and then when you've got that nailed and it's kind of like a well-operated machine of you like churning content out onto it, then look at the next one. And maybe you want to get to a point where you've got multiple social medias all performing really well as an end goal. But I think to start with, don't open 5 accounts and try and keep up to 5 accounts.
No, be too much.
And even like repurposing, we talk about a lot on this podcast, repurposing. But I would say that's for more of like an intermediate if you're used to putting out content, because repurposing is an art form in itself. Like, not all platforms work the same. They don't all have the same kind of voice, and the way that people use them aren't always the same. So like on TikTok, you can have like these like lists of tracks, so like top 5 beatport hits or something like that. But on Instagram, it's a bit more, I don't know, sort of professional, I guess. It's a bit more like you'd rather see just like a quick like one transition, or a bit more value to it. But repurposing if you can, but I'd say stick to one platform for sure. And talk about networking in person, or doing it on social media is definitely the best way. Right, do we have some quick wins that we can share from the live guys, from the gang?
Yeah, so well, I've got some highlights as well. Quick wins. A win someone put here is, I offer quality and raised my prices to match that. Yeah. I'm glad my clients always value me and my time. I think that is a really good
Shout
point.
his DJ name out, by the way.
DJ Krispy Kreme.
I mean, let's go. Jeez. That's a really good point, something you don't talk about. I think, with DJing, a lot of promoters and stuff see you as kind of a flat fee. Like, DJ rates haven't really gone up, but I have definitely raised my rates over time. But it's something that's not really sort of talked about, and I think that depending on what level you are, raising your rate might be good for you. If you've got too many gigs, then for sure you can do.
Yeah,
I've got another one here. Aaron, I got invited to play at Budapest's biggest underground rave after a year and a half of DJing. Wow. Huge win.
Nice.
Great.
Big ups. That is a huge win, by the way.
Yeah.
Have you played any raves, like proper dirty raves?
No.
I think in Leeds, where we're from, there are not as much now, but there used to be a lot of like underground,
like a dirty underground,
grimy
club.
I mean, Old Red Bus is an underground dirty club. Yeah.
So it's kind of that thing, but like not in a illegal sense of taking over a space.
But I've done
that's not purpose for nightclubbing.
Like we used to do the house parties.
Yeah.
We used to do the house parties in Headingley.
But like those underground ones, like Beaverworks, which is a club in Leeds, is like they've got an underground room, and you walk in there and the air's almost dirty. You're like, ugh.
It's just humid.
Yeah, it's like it's a very weird feeling, but yeah.
Anything with sticky floors is a good club.
Yeah.
We've got some questions here about that DJ's journey as well, and like that fit into part of that journey. Is someone's asked Damon White said, do you think you can get on without a manager?
What as in
like a manager, to manage you as a DJ?
I imagine
can you become successful?
Again, you're defining success, isn't it? Like, if you're Calvin Harris, then probably not. You're probably going to need a manager. But for example, I got to a certain level, but I had an agent. I have an agent, but I don't need to manage my calendar and stuff. And I think what a lot of people think is when you get to a level and you get like a manager, you get an agent, you think that the work stops and you're like, oh, they just take care of everything. I can't tell you, it's the opposite. When I got my agent, I doubled the amount of content I'm making, because all of a sudden you've got someone who's backed you and believed in you and is trying to sell you. So there's even more pressure.
Yeah.
So
They need more stuff to sell.
Yeah. And you just, I just put more pressure on myself to make more content and like be more active because I know someone's out there like backing me.
Yep.
Diego said here as well, what's normally an average turnaround in terms of when you start to DJ and getting consistent bookings every weekend? I'm sure you guys see it all the time, but is it usually a few months, a year?
It is months. It's not, honestly, it's not long. It isn't as long as you think.
I think between you setting your sights on like, I know I'm good enough and confident enough to go out to a gig. When you've got to that point, I'd say like give yourself 6 months. If you work hard, consistently within 6 months, it might happen sooner, but within 6 months, I could probably say that you will pick up your first gigs. And ideally looking at residencies.
I'd say you'd be looking at regular. If you're dedicated for 6 months, you could easily have regular work, easily. Yeah. But I think, because if you think like, you can learn the basics from one of our courses, depending on how dedicated you are, you can learn the basics within a month. And I don't mean like, you can go through a course in a couple of days, like you can go through it, but to like, get that muscle memory, and really understand how to DJ, 30 days for sure. And then after that, it's about dipping your toe in the water of like live events and doing the small little gigs here and there, having your friends around doing like parties and local parties and things like that, going live on YouTube and Twitch, things like that. Yeah. But yeah, for sure, it's months, not years. But again, everybody's different. Everywhere in the world's different. There's more opportunities in other places than there is other, elsewhere.
Yeah.
Nice. Should we go? Have you got a game?
We have a game.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
It's the name game again, guys. We're going a bit more DJ EDM-y route of real names of famous DJs.
All right.
So I'll probably have to give you some clues. I think Danny will win again. But yeah, I've got some. Most of them are sort of that. If you get your mind in kind of the big EDM-y guys. Yeah.
Right, so they're all EDM guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Most of them.
All right.
There's a few like DJs in there.
All right.
So I've got loads here. So we did this last week. Adam Richard Wiles is
Calvin Harris.
Yes, so that's Calvin Harris. So feel free to play along online. Adam Richard Wiles. That's Calvin Harris's name, by the way. Adam Richard Wiles. Right, let's get to some of these. I think we did this one as well. Joel Zimmerman.
Yeah, Dead Mouse.
Dead Mouse.
We know that's Dead Mouse, right? Let's go here. Okay. Dimitri Tivaios.
Is it? It's not. Oh.
Oh, you're about to.
Is it Dimitri from Paris?
Yeah. Oh no.
Dimitri Vegas.
Yeah. Close.
Well,
as soon as I
similar.
thought that, I was like, oh, he's not a big EDM guy, so this can't be right.
At least it's similar.
Yeah.
You might get this because he's been in Leeds a few times. Right?
All right.
Dragon Roganovic.
What?
Think back to Electro House. Our Electro House at Space. Dragon. Who was the big producer then? You had a few. You had Dave Spoon was doing a bit.
Yeah.
You had a few. Who were the big boys?
Well, it's not Chris Lake.
No, but he's so close. He's had songs with Chris Lake.
Don't say that.
Chris Lake.
Oh.
Dragon
Roganovic.
I'm actually stumped on
Shall I give you
this.
the first word?
Is it? No.
Oh, I want to guess this. I want to get.
Dirty.
Dirty Sanchez.
No.
No, Dirty Vegas and
No.
Mike. No.
No.
Dirty Secrets.
No, close. Dirty Secrets. What, you be watching? Dirty South.
Oh. Wow. Oh my! I haven't heard that name in so long.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
This one's come up here. Try and guess his name. Khaled Mohammed Khaled. Right. Next one is that's DJ Khaled, by the way.
Yeah.
Next one is William Sami Etienne Grigarchin. French name.
Sammy Porter.
No, William.
He's British, isn't he?
Sammy Porter. This is probably Sammy Porter. William Sami Etienne Grigarchin. Huge
EDM.
Yeah. He did pop as well. Chart topper.
Flume? No.
It's just-
did he do like that?
He's got a DJ name. It's DJ.
Oh. DJ Snake.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
That was a guess.
Yeah, he's tricky, aren't they?
These are really tricky.
But that DJ Snake's French. I don't think that sounds very French, does it? Does it?
Etienne.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now you say it like that. I needed the accent, Loz.
Yeah. Let's go. Right, Danny, you might guess. I'll give you the genre. Dubstep.
All right.
Joshua Steele.
Casper, Rusco.
Oh, it's close. You're in the right area.
Oh, Casper, Rusco.
Benga.
Cookie Monster, whatever it was called.
Let the bass cannon kick it.
Oh, Flux Pavilion.
Flux
really?
Pavilion. Yeah. Let's get think more tech. Curtis Allen Jones.
Fisher.
Nah.
Curtis Allen. Hot since '82.
Ooh,
No.
Has a colour in his name. He goes through all the colours. Green.
These are hard.
They are tricky.
These are tricky.
They are tricky, mate. They are tricky. Green
Velvet.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Okay.
Maybe I'll just give you one name.
Half the name.
Julius O'Riordan. British BBC Radio. Julius. Old school.
Pete Tong.
Oh, the other one.
Oh. Pete.
The other one. Old school radio.
No.
Julius?
Judge Jules.
There you go.
Right.
Judge
Okay.
Jules.
We are firing blanks today.
We'll do one more. We'll do one more. What a great name, by the way. Lucas Cornelius van Scheppingen.
Oh no, I've heard this.
Yeah.
And it's going to do Maiden.
Swedish house producer.
Is he part of the Swedish House Mafia?
No. I think he's Swedish.
Julius.
Oh, sorry, Holland.
Oh.
Laid Back Luke.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a good guess.
Yeah, leave it there because this is tough.
This is tough.
Right. I'm sweating now. That was stressful. Hard.
Guys, if you have just joined us on the live feed, then we had a big announcement at the top of the show. Wow. Top of the show, we had a big announcement. As of next week, we are launching our biggest ever product. It's like our total life's work at Crossfader, and it is called the Complete DJ Package. And what it is for a one-time fee, you get access to every single course that Crossfader has ever created, which is, I believe, 23, might be 24. You also get access to over 50 courses, 50 hours of bonus content, which was previously in the DJ Hub, which are things like mix breakdowns from famous artists, social media action plans, everything you need to learn how to DJ.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you get access to all future courses that we make as well for a one-time fee. So it's a big deal, and you're going to hear so much more about it on all our socials, in the emails, on our socials next week. It will launch next week. We're thinking Monday.
A few people have said, I've already had it in an email. Yes, a select few have had emails about it.
Yes.
So you're the lucky few to get first access. But yes, it will be publicly available.
It's basically, it's the cost of like 3 normal courses, right?
Yeah.
And you get access
everything
to forevermore. So it's insane. Like, it is insane. I think we were drunk when we came up with this idea. So so it's amazing. You'll hear so much more about it. And as of launch as well, which will be next week, it will literally only be discounted for a week. And that won't ever be as heavily discounted ever. So just to forewarn you, if you are listening to this on the podcast from next week, it will be at a discounted rate for a week, and then will never ever be discounted because it's so ridiculous.
It's already discounted.
It's ridiculously priced. So we're looking forward to the feedback on that big time. So have we got any questions to end on the show? We got any more wins or anything like that?
Let's have a look. Well, we've got people talking about their favourite artists.
DJ.
Just backing up about Fred again, saying still in the Big DJ League, like one of the favourite new artists.
Big time.
Black Coffee, who someone's seen.
Legend.
I think what we can end on is kind of what our kind of next few months have we got planned as well as like Crossfader.
Okay.
Like, let's put some out there. Like, I would love to do a few more in-person workshops with Pirate Studios. That's something that we loved.
Yeah, they were good fun. It's really good.
And I mean, I'd quite like to get actually doing some live stuff like this, but behind the decks as well with people. So doing a select few, getting a small group together and actually having the cameras on the decks instead of our faces.
Yep.
And, being able to sign up, doing it through Zoom or something like that. That's something I want to roll
Definitely
out.
some more in-person stuff. Maybe we could come to America. That would be sick.
Anyone wants to fly us out there?
Fly us out there and host an event. That'd be amazing.
We will do it.
Listening. Apart from that, I'd just love to obviously keep continuing to build Crossfader.
Yep.
We're really excited about this complete package. We think it's
And we have got 3 new courses in the pipeline that
We have.
you will be able to buy separately, but obviously if you buy the complete package when they get released later in the year, boom, you just get access to them.
Yeah.
Yep.
You've already paid, so you don't even need to pay again. You just get access.
Yeah, the next course is 75% filmed.
Yeah.
So that'll be releasing in Q3, so maybe August, early August time,
Maybe.
Yeah.
something like that. But yeah, apart from that, I think we all want to do some more like one-to-one stuff. Like we really get enjoyment from this podcast, especially being live. We can sort of answer your questions and things like that.
Yeah.
But make sure you're all over socials and checking your emails next week, guys, because on Monday, like I say, early next week is the launch of our complete DJ package. And again, just for that, the last time it is access to every single course we've ever made, 50 plus hours of bonus content, and future access to all courses we ever make. And it will only be discounted for the week. So I hope to see a load of new students, some existing students as well. We're looking forward to the feedback, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
Nice.
Peace.
Peace out.
So yeah.